You are saying that this was done in 2015, but the experts 2025. But the experts tell me that all teacher manuals, underline that, all teacher manuals were written in 2024. NACA and GES have no access, they have no control or role in the process. They are only used for the branding for it. And in fact, it was in 2018 that you had the new curriculum writing start by giving the funds that were needed to do it. And this is where we are. So if you see the document, and I had to ask a question because the document is branded NACA, Ministry of Education. And the explanation I was giving is that that is the branding. But the institutions doing it, like he's told us, TTEL doing it, they don't hand it to them to play a role in review or anything of the sort. Go ahead with your presentation.
Samson, let me try and also try to, put it in proper perspective so that my brother Khalid will understand the issues very well. I am saying that one issue leads to the other. In the development of a framework, it cannot be a standalone. You use the national penitentiary framework to be able to develop a curriculum. And these things were done by 2023. Samson, in the development of textbooks, which is supposed to be out of the curriculum, it takes a lot of time. You know why? Because that is the sole prerogative of private, or if you like, the private entities to be able to publish books based on the curriculum. It takes a lot of research, it takes a lot of time before you can bring out those textbooks. Now, in the absence of the textbooks, government may try or may attempt, or if you like NACA, may attempt to, as it were, bring in other manuals like the teacher manuals and what have you. Assuming without admitting that these documents were even done during the MPP's era, then heads must indeed roll, because the insertions that we find here are tendencies of LGBTQ tendencies. How come that you found these things in there and went ahead to sign without proofreading them? You printed it actually and sent it to the various schools. That is causing financial loss to the state. But that is not even an argument I'm accepting. The argument that I am advancing on this platform is that the processes will have to lead to one another, and indeed, per the document that I have, this is documentary evidence. It is okay for you to advance that it is branded. But I'm saying that the PLC that was signed by the Honorable Haruna Idrisi, in fact, page 7, was now even referring us to a document in the manual. Which document, or if you like, which page actually says that? That is page 7.
Whilst you look for that, the Ministry of Education had issued a statement and said that the reference to Haruna Idrisu is erroneous because the SHS Year 2 teacher manual, Physical Education and Health, which contains a definition of gender identity, is not reflective of Ghanaian norms and values. It was made in 2024.
Samson, see, I have the document here.
No, but you are saying that this manual arises out of the framework. The framework.
Yes, it's extracted from the framework.
You understand? And it's signed by Honorable Haruna Idrisu. But when did he sign it?
That's what I'm saying.
Because we are now going to deal with a totally different document.
No,
because the document now that we're going to deal with is the one that has been there, had the gender identity extracted.
Yes.
So this manual goes with the old framework, doesn't it?
Yes.
This manual goes with the old framework. So if we withdraw this one,
so that is what I'm suggesting.
If we withdraw this one, we will withdraw the manual also, because the manual then has to
absolutely.
It doesn't matter. No, hold on.
It tells you the intent of the people to smuggle in tendencies of LGBTQ in our curriculum.
Okay, so it was smuggled in, and now we have removed it. We have seen it, and then we have removed it.
Yes.
What do you want now?
What I want now is that people will have to answer for this.
Okay,
Heads will have to roll for this.
Who's head in particular?
NACA, of course, NACA CEO. Because
you're saying Haruna signed it.
of course, but you see, I'm saying that. Listen, I'm saying that NACA CEO is the one. NACA CEO is the one who supervises the printing of these books. I do not want to get to the level where I will have to call for the head of Haruna Idrisu because I have been a deputy minister before. It is possible that he may have been misled, or he did not even take the opportunity to even read the document that he was signing.
You have been or he has been?
I said I have been a deputy minister before. So I know how agencies, or if you like heads of agencies, can even mislead ministers. So that's why I am safely trying not to get there. In my press conference, I said that there should be a probe for the Honorable Haruna Idrisu to come to Parliament to come and answer why these tendencies were found in our manuals.
Samson, Vincent, if
So it is not okay. It is not okay for you to say.
If you are doing this out of public interest,
Yes.
my expectation of you, just not as an activist, but as a member of Parliament,
Yes.
is to call for a policy audit trail, right, of the manual in and of itself. So if you're not calling for a policy audit trail of the manual produced in June 2024, and you are pinning it on a minister just because a minister appended a signature on a PLC in 2025, you're not being fair to the discourse.
That can be done by way of RTI, but it doesn't also stop us from calling for the heads of people who have already apologized to us.
So what I am saying,
you have sat there as a NACA CEO.
But the principle of ultimate responsibility.
Yeah, it comes with it. But now look at it, Samson. The document you inherited, or NACA inherited, the current NACA. You see, the boss said when it came to his attention, I was looking at the chronology of events when he was giving it. It came to attention. He got to the technical deputy to say, look, this has come to our attention, which is fair for any boss to do who has taken over office, probably in under a year or so. Look, these manuals that produced, or we are talking about Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. We're talking about 300-page on average documents that needs probably to be audited, to be looked at and all. So until implementation stages, you may not be able to spot certain things. As you would see, TTEL piloted this in 33 schools to test the efficacy of it. At the time of piloting, we asked ourselves, what did the document or framework contain? Did it contain all of these things? You see, we can weaponize the issues of LGBT, we can weaponize the issues, politicize them, right, in trying to cherry pick and call for heads to roll. But when it comes to issues of national discussion, in particular of education, let's premise it and ask for the relevant questions in looking at the policy trail of it. And that's all I'm calling for.
Team Fojo says this was coordinated straight from the Jubilee House.
Yeah,
You see, and that is something that I also said.
You agree with
Yes,
that?
I agree with you.
And you have proof of it?
And you have proof.
But this is bizarre. I can
Because this signature by Haruna is not proof of it.
No.
Samson, you see the unanimity.
You say that. I mean, where is he getting his evidence from?
Yeah, this is very
Or
serious.
is it just a feeling or what?
No, you see, I
He
initially
says
made
he
mention of
absolutely agrees. So maybe
I made mention of the fact that I made mention of the
evidence.
fact that for us to have this manual with tendencies of LGBTQ means that it should have been derived from the framework and the curriculum. That is the standard practice.
Yes.
That is the standard practice. So if it is not in the curriculum, if it is not in the framework, and it finds expression in the manual and the PLC, it means that it has been smuggled in these manuals, or people actually inserted in it without thinking that people will actually spot it.
And that came from instructions from the president.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Hold on.
We were here in this country when a constitutional review committee was formed. The head appointed by the President of the Republic. Now, in that constitutional review committee report and their recommendations,
Not the head, all of them were appointed by
that's
the
okay,
president.
but page 105, which seeks to amend Article 28 of the 1992 Constitution, that Article 28 should be amended to provide for the right of every child to bodily integrity, including freedom from irreversible, non-consensual medical or surgical interventions. So today, if a child is born in this country and you find tendencies of a man and a woman at the same time with that child, this recommendation is saying that you cannot perform any surgical procedure on that person. Let the person grow. When he grows, then he will now decide what he wants to do. And I am suggesting to you that when you put the bits and pieces together with respect to who introduced comprehensive sexuality education in 2012 and 2016, and how President Mahama himself launched a program, the 7th African Conference program at Kempinski, I can have that rebuttable presumption and the conclusion that the NDC led by John Dramani Mahama is actually interested in introducing the tendencies of LGBTQ in our curriculum.
So
and
you
that
are
is
saying,
the conclusion that I can have.
You are saying that the Constitution Review Committee
Yes.
granted the interpretation you put to what the amendment they have proposed.
Yes.
Granted, that interpretation is what was in their mind when you
Yes.
put it there. You're saying that the president or the presidency instructed Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, Justice Sophia Dinyira, Charlotte said, Dr. A.C. Ansan, Professor Kwame Karkari, Alhaji Ibrahim Tanko, Godwin Jokoto. He instructed them, the presidency instructed them that this is LGBT and we want you to put it in the Constitution. That's what you're saying.
That it is a clear involvement of the Jubilee House in this kind of issue.
The Constitution Review Committee.
Yes. Why? Who appointed them?
Is the presidency.
Why? Who appointed them?
Oh.
If the president appointed them,
Of course, they share ideologies together. So I can safely say, well, that is my opinion.
They didn't talk.
Don't have an opinion.
We want the